Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be looking into the Hypixel pit experience for what a beginner will go through. Now, as a quick disclaimer, I have already reached Prestige 2, as you can see by the time of making this video, that I'm not brand new. I'm not brand new at all. I do not use any perks, however, that could make it an overall easier experience. I didn't want to go ahead and make it any more unfair as a analysis because I don't see it being quite right to try and explain what the new players will go through, including myself, when I'm using perks that new players won't even have access to anyways. However, let's get right on into it. So, I'm wanting to talk about the pit directly and its experiences for new players. The pit, in of itself, is a game mode where a player spawns in and can jump right into the middle of it all. Try and get a few kills to get some money and XP to get some progress into perks or even items. Now, there is also, once you go outside of the main spawn and away from the middle of the pit, you can go around the map and trying to kill individual players. If you do this, you can end up getting higher and higher streaks, which give their own rewards. If you hit 50 of a streak, you will usually end up hitting a very high milestone type of perk, temporary perk I guess, where you end up getting a buff at the same time of a debuff, while generally getting a massive boost to XP. This is generally the first of its ultra streaks. Now, with the general aspect of the game out of the way, let's talk about the actual gameplay loop in of itself. It's a very fun experience overall. Let me go ahead and get that out now. It's a fun experience to go through the same loop over and over of jumping into the middle of the pit, dying, killing again, dying, killing, dying, killing again and again, getting slowly progressing through perks and items and trying to get to the next prestige. This is a fun experience, however, it is tedious. If you are not interested in grinding for large amounts of time, this may not be for you. This is definitely a grindy game. Let's go ahead and say that as well. If you are not interested in that, I would suggest finding a different kind of game. Now, how long did it take to reach Prestige 2 overall to get an idea on how long it takes? It took me roughly 20 hours to achieve this, and this is without full knowledge of how to play the game and trying to understand everything. It takes quite a while. Now, we'll go on to events which can actually speed up this whole process, but I'm just going to go over on if they are fun or not. Essentially, there's two different types of events. There is a minor event and there's a major event. Actually, there's several, but we'll go over some of them as an example. For minor events, there is, for example, the cake event, which will be displayed in the background now as I have footage of it, where there's just a giant thing of just cakes that you can go ahead and eat through, which will give you a huge amount of money. And there's also these bigger blocks that you can instantly eat after you eat a cake around it anyways, that will give you a huge reward. Overall, there's nothing too exciting about this event, but it does go ahead and break up the mundane experience of just jumping into the middle and trying to get a few kills and assists here and there. Now, for the major events, there is things like the Spire, where you go up to, I think, the 8th floor as your starting floor, where everyone is at, and everyone has the same gear, except for perks, those still stay the same, which can cause a slight bit of an advantage for players who already have them. With this in mind, you can go ahead and go into that, and every single kill that you get further down the floors up until the very first floor. Every floor gives you more souls on kill, which is basically your main ending currency on which placement you get. Your placement determines the amount of experience and money that you get, plus if you are already prestige, you get your prestige currency from it as well. That is the main thing of events. However, to talk about the community during these events, it can make or break the experience of how fun they are. For example, the cake one, as you will see here soon, if not right now, you will see me being knocked out during the last 20 seconds of it and just not being able to get any more progress because a random person decided to knock me out of it. Because of this, it made it more unenjoyable. And this happens decently often enough where it can be quite annoying for some. Is it the worst thing in the world? By all means, no. It just can be an annoyance, and for some, just a deal breaker of the game entirely. Some people want more casual, and in all honesty, this is definitely not a more casual game mode. So the community can make or break an event. Well, almost all the events can be fun in of themselves. Now, let's actually go over the community. The community in of itself is way more toxic than the rest of Hypixel, for what I am aware of, and it's also more toxic than a lot of other servers that exist. This is not the worst ever. Let's go ahead and make that clear. It's not the worst community ever, but there is problems with it. For example, there's people who make lists because they end up taking being killed way too personally for some, and so they will end up putting you onto this list after you kill them, and they will now target you whenever they see you. There's even mods to help them arrange for this so that they will see you highlighted for them to chase after you. I'm not 100% sure on how many people do this. I just know that it is a common enough thing to where people do commonly complain about it or mention it. There's also been situations of people making mods to malicious mods where they will go ahead and basically give them access to people's accounts. I'm not sure how true they are or how often they occur, but they are existent in this community. Outside of that, there is still people out there who will actually be pretty friendly towards you and treat you respectfully pretty often. There's generally at least 1 or 2 people that I can find anytime that I play that will generally play nice, in a weird way of saying that, generally play nicer in a way, specifically communication speaking, and overall just friendly to be around. So it's not like it's 2v2t levels of toxicity, but there is still a noticeable amount. Overall, the game is a lot of fun to play. Do I think that there needs to be adjustments and stuff like that to overall make it more entertaining or fun for newer players, or possibly even later on? Possibly, but for what it is, it's quite enjoyable, and I highly recommend for anyone to check it out, whether they're going to check it out with some friends or solo. It's a lot of fun. Just be mindful of the fact that the community is a bit toxic. And that's the main thing to bear in mind of. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. And also, if you do want to go ahead and make your own version of this, whether you're a brand new player or you can speak better of this, please feel free to. I do not mind of it. I actually encourage it due to the fact that I'm probably missing a lot of things in this. But yeah, I hope you have all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.